Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Well, good afternoon and greetings. Thanks for being with us here today, the Friday edition of The Ride Home. It feels Friday, but it feels like, the week's been about 15 days long. Right? You ever have one of those weeks?
And the weekend's going to seem like it's about 12 hours long because you're going to be traversing the state in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah. You know what?
Did you change that at all? Change that plan?
No. Here's the deal. It seems to be heavy, wet snow overnight, and the temperatures should rise during the day, so it's going to melt off pretty fast. I feel good about things.
Yeah, it's going to be okay. You know what? I don't want to discourage you, John. I want to be the person that encourages you.
No, you are trying to discourage because you're trying to say change your plans.
Well, because you're driving from here to the middle of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. In the middle of, what do we call it yesterday? A cyclonic,
sound crazy.
A biocyclonic system or something?
Yeah, that's just people making much ado about nothing.
I think those are meteorologists that know what they're talking about.
It's a few inches of snow, Kath. A few inches, maybe. I'll believe it when I see it. You know those guys. They're big on adjectives, right? Oh, let me outdo each other. Mm-hmm. Holy, what's coming our way?
I like this bravado that you're displaying over these last several days.
We've seen this before.
You feel like Phi on the weather is what you are.
If they were saying,
is it
hey, Phi? If they were going to say, a foot of snow is headed our way, then of course I would be a little.
Well, this is a half a foot.
Maybe. It feels like it's like a couple of inches, and warmer weather's along the way, so I'll be fine.
Okay.
What's the worst? No big deal.
Okay, great.
All right. I appreciate your concern. Thank you so much. What time is it anyway?
It's time for me to tell you, John.
Tell me.
Is it? Maybe it's early.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's right
your
on
weekend has begun.
Fabulous. It's 6 minutes past the 4 o'clock hour on a Friday afternoon. I would say at least in this corner of the world.
It's a
tiny little corner.
And it is a really particular space.
Yes. But here, and I hope in yours as well, all is right and well, despite all the things that are going on.
Which aren't right or well.
Right. So without further ado, Kath, as we look at the news, both local, national, and international, please give us the top 4 at 4.
For Friday, March 11th, 2022, should I start with number 1?
Oh, surely.
A woman who was injured during Russian shelling of a maternity hospital in Ukraine. John, you may have seen those pictures. Did you see? They were AP pictures of a woman. I think it was on Wednesday. It showed her injured, hugely pregnant, having to evacuate the maternity hospital because of Russian shelling of the area. The good news is that she has given birth to a daughter, reported by the AP today. Images of the mom, her name is Mariana Vyzhegorskaya. She's lying in a hospital bed. She's just given birth to her daughter, Veronica, who is super beautiful.
Very nice.
Super beautiful. Another picture of her husband, Evgeny, holding the baby while mom is resting in the hospital. And it's just highlights the fact that beautiful things are happening in the midst of absolute horror, because I want to tell you that Russia has still claimed that hospital was a legitimate target.
Of course, sure.
Number 2. Thursday afternoon, that's yesterday, 30 top TikTok stars gathered on Zoom.
Okay, now that alone, 30 top TikTok stars. What does that even mean? No.
Do you know what they gathered on Zoom for?
To dance.
To receive key information about the war unfolding in Ukraine from National Security Council staffers and White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. And I am not kidding you.
Okay, that's the end of the modern world as we know it. I mean,
yes,
seriously.
all of those people briefed the influencers, it says, about the United States strategic goals in the region and answered questions which I'm sure were probing on distributing aid to Ukrainians, working with NATO, and how the U.S. would react to a Russian use of nuclear weapons.
Okay, right. I got a question for the guy holding the bag of Doritos, sir.
Oh, wait, listen. Right. This guy, Khalil Green, is 21 years old. He's a creator with more than 534,000 followers on TikTok.
He's a creator.
Said he wasn't surprised when the invitation arrived from the White House in his email box. He says, quote, "People in my generation get all our information from TikTok. It's the first place we're searching up new topics and learning about things, so I figured it would make sense the Biden administration would engage people like me."
Heaven help us.
That's
Heaven help.
Washington Post.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. Number 3.
Yes.
Emilio Delgado, John, the actor and singer who played Luis on Sesame Street. Remember him?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, he played on Sesame Street for 45 years. He was like, I'll say this as like me who grew up in Pittsburgh. He was like the first Latino man I remember
sure.
seeing on TV.
Now, if you say that, then I go, oh,
Luis,
yeah.
right.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, he just passed away today at age 81. Delgado joined the show starting its third season in 1971.
That's super cool.
How about that?
Fabulous.
At number 4,
Sorry, sir.
the Carnegie Museum of Art has announced commissions for the 58th Carnegie International that will be realized at the museum and throughout the city in the lead up to the exhibition opening September 24th.
Nice.
It was established in 1896. The Carnegie International is the longest running North American exhibition of international art. The upcoming iteration will run through April 2nd, 2023. And that is your top 4 at 4.
Very good news.
Do you want to hear who's part of the Carnegie International?
I'll not know anyone's name.
I'm not going to give you any names.
Oh, okay.
A group of Berlin-based developers has proposed an augmented tree that owns its own land.
Okay.
Okay? The Community College of Allegheny County will donate land on which the tree will be planted, and the tree will regulate and govern itself.
Okay.
Through a smart contract and issue certificates of care to the museum for the services the museum will provide through its lifetime.
And then brainwaves from the TikTok influencers will help the tree grow.
There are several elements of today's news I don't understand.
Because it's the world we live in right now. It's crazy town. Mm-hmm. It is.
There's also a local Pittsburgh artist who will paint a mural of the city's Hill District where he was born. I like that.
Excellent.
A Cuban-American artist will create a pavilion to be housed in the museum's courtyard. And a Virginia-based artist will create 4 billboards along Route 28.
All right. I love the international.
Yeah,
There's always something
I
cool.
do too. But I'm curious about the tree that will regulate and govern itself.
Okay. I mean, you know, right? It's kind of like the tree in The Wizard of Oz, throwing apples, right?
Did that happen? You know how much I hate that movie.
That's a great movie.
That is
Fabulous.
the worst. That is an abusive movie to show to children.
Abuse.
Is. I'm telling you, it's wrong.
Abuse.
You know why?
Oh, right. Now we're
Because
calling child and youth services on The Wizard of Oz.
monkeys and that whole black and white thing at the bit in the beginning with the witch on the bike.
Right. Next thing you know, Cass got a petition going.
Who kidnaps the dog? Who kidnaps a dog?
Yeah. Good gravy. All right.
All right.
Better days ahead.
I
When we
hope
come
so.
back, Pastor Kurt Bjorklund will be with us.
We're going to ask you about TV dinners.
TV
Wonder if you like that
dinners.
same Hungry Man meatloaf thing I liked.
Find that out next. Stick around. Pittsburgh's Christian Talk. It's The Ride Home with John and Kathy.
101.5 WORD.
I won! Yes!
And we want you to win too. So sign up to receive our contests and sweepstakes update. Each Friday, you can see new opportunities to win. We regularly give out prizes from books, music, and merchandise to household items, even vacation trips or car payments. Stay up on all the fun. Subscribe to our contests and sweepstakes update, mailed each Friday.
Sign up today at wordfm.com/subscribe.
Towels just don't seem to dry you anymore. They feel soft and luxurious at the store, but then you get them home and they don't absorb. Well, Mike Lindell at MyPillow found out that about 2006, towels changed forever. They started importing them, and they added softeners and other things to the cotton that made them feel really good, but they didn't work. He found the best towel company right here in the USA. They have proprietary technology to create towels that feel soft but actually work. They're all made with USA cotton, and they come with a MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. A 6-piece set, 2 bath, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths made with USA cotton, regularly $109.99, now just $39.99. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the new radio listener specials, get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the towels. Enter promo code WORD or call 800-391-0954. But right now, MyPillow.com, promo code is WORD.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I love seeing the transformation of a smile.
There's a reason patients love Dr. Megan Stock, voted Pittsburgh Trib's best of the best dentist in Northern Allegheny County for the second year in a row.
You don't have to do full mouth rehabilitation to really transform a patient's life, for a patient to be able to smile confidently and be happy with their own smile.
Exceptional dentistry meets compassionate care. Stock Family Dentistry, Perry Highway in Wexford, at stockfamilydentistry.com.
In 2007, Marine First Lieutenant Travis Manion was killed in Iraq after saving his wounded teammates. Travis's legacy lives on through the words he spoke before his final deployment. If not me, then who? Words that today fuel the spirit of Travis Manion Foundation. And through TMF, these words can live in you too. Show the world what you're made of, because character is invisible until it's not. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians at travismanion.org.
Like a TV dinner?
Well, I haven't had a TV dinner in several decades, but when I was little, if my dad was traveling, which was most of the summer, then the TV dinners would appear.
Stand by.
And it was always such a treat. It was Swanson meatloaf for me that had the green beans on the left. I don't remember what was on the right, but it had that little vanilla pudding thing in the middle.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That you had to kind of like leave the foil on top of while you uncovered the foil in the other parts.
Probably what was in
mashed potatoes.
What about carrots and peas? Or
no, because there were green beans on the left.
Right,
I think it was probably mashed potatoes on the right.
I would do like the Hungry Man, like, chicken parm or something like that.
Chicken parm?
Oh, yeah. But TV dinners were like a treat in our house as well.
Yeah.
Something very special. But at the same time, when you look back on them, you kind of go, that was fun.
Yeah, but that's kind of lame.
No, I don't think it's lame.
No, I think it is a little.
Anyway, with TV dinners, we've got Pastor Kirk Bjorklund in mind. Pastor Bjorklund is a senior pastor at Orchard Hill Church. And Kurt, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm well. It's good to hear you. I can't believe that you haven't had one of these frozen dinners in decades.
I know, and I feel like I've let you down there. I just want to say that I had so many of those meatloaf dinners as a child. I could probably not have any for the rest of my life and feel like I've just, eaten my share.
Yeah. But Kurt, you're a fan.
Do you not eat fast food either? Like, do you actually cook every single night?
Pretty much, Kurt.
What the heck?
Wow. Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
She's got an apron on even as we speak, Kurt.
Oh, God. All right, so why are you thinking about TV dinners?
So, well, nobody really likes TV dinners. I mean, I guess you guys just said you did, but
when I was
compared to a real
8.
dinner, it's kind of one of those things you choose because it's quick, it's easy, and it's relatively healthy. And, and relatively healthy meaning, few calories or something. But obviously it's full of preservatives and stuff that's not, nearly as good for you as if you chop up vegetables, have something that's fresh, cook it and everything. And, but sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes you're in a hurry, you're by yourself, you're like trying to work on stuff or something. You don't want to cook, clean up, anything. You just say, you know what, I'm going to just slam one of these out, and that's it.
Does the job. Yeah.
And so not long ago, my family was away, and I had about 4 days where I was by myself. And I went to the store, and I grabbed enough frozen meals, whatever you want to call it, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 4 straight days. And I did it in part because I was going to be alone. I was trying to get a bunch of work done on a project I was doing, and I didn't want to be hassled with cooking, cleanup. I wanted something quick, easy, and relatively healthy. And what I found was that the first day it was okay. The second day it was not okay. The third day it was pretty gross, and by the fourth day I didn't eat it at all.
It was unacceptable by that point.
That's right. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. And so I ended up getting some other stuff, cooking a little bit, just even for myself. And the reason I was thinking about this is, we've had this whole thing in the church world in the last 2 years of virtual church.
Yeah.
And as I was eating my frozen dinner, I started to think, why do people choose virtual church? Especially people who aren't COVID concerned anymore, which, certainly if somebody's COVID concerned and they're saying, hey, I've got comorbidities or I know somebody close to me who does, that's understandable. But I know a lot of people who are no longer working from home. They're going out to eat. They're traveling. They're doing everything else. But their church patterns have changed substantially over the last 2 years. They used to go every week. Now they go once, every 2-3 weeks. They used to go every 2-3 weeks. Now they go once every 1-2. That pattern has just changed for a lot of people. And I started to think about the fact that why do people do that? Well, it's quick, it's easy, and it's relatively healthy. It's like you feel kind of like you still get church. You kind of watch a little bit of worship, you get the message, but it isn't really. And after, a few times of it, what happens is you start saying, well, I don't know that this is that great. And even if you like it, and it's a good thing, you still have a moment of saying this is not as good as a real meal. Mm-hmm. And when I was thinking about it in terms of church, what I thought about is, in a meal, part of what makes it is the relationship of cooking, cleaning up, eating together. Part of it is just taking your time to create and think and serve inside your family dynamic. Like there are a host of things that make a meal much better than when you do a frozen dinner. And there are a host of things that make in-person church a stronger spiritual experience long-term than virtual church. Certainly there's a relational aspect. I think there's a declaration aspect. Most people I know, when they sing at home, don't sing. Like if you ask people about worship, they'll just say, it feels weird to sing by myself or just our family. Certainly there's a distraction element. There's something about when you say, I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes, 40 minutes and listen to a message that is an act of humility, of saying, I'm not going to get up if this bores me a little, change the channel, whatever it is. But it's all part of, I think, a healthier approach to spirituality. And so, after my experience of having a few days of TV dinners, frozen dinners, I just thought that is in some ways an analogy today for, I think, a lot of people who are saying, I just want church to be as quick, easy, and relatively healthy as it can be, rather than how can I really experience what it is to be in community and have a healthy spiritual life.
That's good. I mean, that's a great analogy, Kurt. And I would say I'm surprised that attendance is down in churches because, through the pandemic, when churches were closed to some extent, people were saying, I miss my church family. And now you're back, your family's coming back, or portions of them. So why wouldn't everybody come back to keep the family all together again? Are you surprised by the lack of concentrated effort for everybody to get together again?
Well, I think, it's hard to tell entirely what's going on. I think probably every church is a little different. Every community is a little different of faith. I think, as I had noted earlier, for a lot of people, they're just seeing virtual as a good option now when they didn't used to.
Yeah.
And so they throw it into the mix, and, if they used to come 2-3 times a month, now they're coming once or twice a month. You do that and you have maybe the same number of adherents to the church, but your average attendance is a lot smaller just by that transition of frequency. And so I think there's a lot of people that are, certainly people have switched churches during this time. But, that's probably a wash in reality for most churches. It's probably, you lose a few because people during the pandemic said, well, we tried this and we liked it better. And some others tried your church and said they liked it better. And so, that's probably not substantial. But I think to me, it seems like it's the TV dinner mentality as much as anything. Mm-hmm. Just saying, I woke up this morning, it's been a busy week. It's kind of nice if we just have pajamas and watch church online instead of getting in the car and driving somewhere and getting dressed. It's 50 minutes, an hour and we can kind of clean up breakfast while we're doing it instead of 2 hours by the time we get dressed, drive there, go to church, drive home. And so again, it's just kind of a mindset that I think is not the healthiest mindset in the broader church today.
Kurt Bjorklund's with us, senior pastor at Orchard Hill Church. We'll talk about Orchard Hill, its main campus, and its other locations before Kurt leaves us today. Kurt, sticking with your metaphor, though, I will say that it shouldn't be a surprise to any of us because we all do things because they're easier, and we all do things that we know are bad for us, right? So, we know we should exercise every day, but we don't exercise every day. And we know we shouldn't eat junk food, but, I still bought the Mallow cups when they were 10 for 10.
Thank you.
And you know what I mean? And so oftentimes, especially once you get in the habit of something that's easier, it's really hard to get out of the habit of doing the thing that's easier, even if you know that the other thing is better.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of what all of us want to do at the end of the day is say, okay, what is it that is the best for me, not just the easiest? And that is a challenge to make that decision and to change a pattern. And like I said, to get a TV dinner every now and then, that's not a bad thing. But when you do it frequently, you notice a change in your overall health.
Right. So then what do you say, Kurt? You run into people you haven't seen for a week or a
That's
month?
Weird, right? Because you don't want to say, hey, where have you been? Because you don't want to make people feel judged or feel badly.
But it's a family member.
What do you do?
So you want to be, you want to be honest and upfront, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, simple call, text, just say, hey, love you, miss you. Is great. One of the things we do as a staff at Orchard Hill is we pray for a list each week of people from our church. And it's just whether it's alphabetized by last name, first name, whatever. And we just pray through it. One of the things I've just said to our staff is, hey, if there's people you haven't seen for a while, just reach out to them. Because even if they're going somewhere else or something else is going on, you appreciate being missed. And, and sometimes people, I think, have gotten into the mindset of nobody misses me, nobody cares if I'm not there.
That's good.
Which may just be people trying to be nice and respectful. There's a lot of potential for why that happens, but I think there's two things. One is if you're somebody who is back engaged in church, be inviting again, and don't assume that people are, settled where they are. Let them know they're missed, and then I'd say if you have gotten out of the habit, get back in it. And, if for whatever reason you need a different place to go and worship, then do that. But get back in the habit, because it's at some point you will look up and say, my spiritual life is not what I want it to be.
Right.
If you stick with kind of the virtual approach for long.
And at the same time, Kurt, if people are working from home and, they're hanging out at home and they're going to church at home,
that's like too much home.
Do they ever leave home?
Yeah. That doesn't work for me.
Me either.
Be home that
No,
much.
but I remember when John and I were working from home, Kurt, which went on for over a year. It was like a year and a half. It was when we found out we had to go back to work, it was hard for us to get in that mindset, even though we're thrilled to be back.
Heck yeah, we love it.
We love it. But remember, it was hard at the moment.
Right.
It was hard. It's like anything. It's hard to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are benefits to working from home and being home, just like there are benefits to being doing church at home. I had one guy say to me, he said, our family has never had greater connection because we'll watch the service together and talk about it in a way that we don't when we drive to church.
Well, that's interesting.
And while I applaud that, my challenge to him was just to say, well, get back in the habit of coming to church, but make a habit of talking about it. Because, again, there are some other elements besides just that. Like, that is a really good thing that comes out of it. But there are elements in terms of how you again, are publicly declaring, like, I think we underestimate how important that is. The walking into a space and just saying, I'm part of something. Mm-hmm. And by my mere presence, I am affirming and participating in something much bigger than I am myself. And we do so many things on screens. It's almost impossible not to be a critic and a spectator via a screen. I if you watch news or something like that, you get on the news and, if you don't like the way they're presenting a story, you just bail on it and look to the next channel. And it's hard not to end up doing even the same thing with church when that's the approach that we take.
Kurt Bjorklund. Kurt, wonderful to talk with you again. Before you leave us, talk to us about the main campus of Orchard Hill and your satellites as well.
Yeah, Orchard Hill's primary campus, that's probably not the right word, but the largest of the three is in Wexford. And we have Saturday night at 6, Sunday 9:30 and 11:15. Another service that's a little more liturgical, high church in our chapel at 9:30. And then our Strip District campus, 9 and 11 on Sundays, and Butler, 9 and 10:45 on Sundays. And we've actually seen an increase overall in attendance, especially if you count the online during this time, which has been amazing. And we're just really excited about some of the things that we're seeing happen in our midst.
Fabulous. Well, Kurt, it's good to hear your voice, and I love the message. Forget the TV dinners. Everybody needs meat and potatoes, so get on back to church.
Thanks. Have a great afternoon.
Good to
you
talk
as well.
to you. Check out Orchard Hill online so you can find out which satellite works best for you.
Whatever church you're going to, go in person. Just go.
Let's go. Coming up next.
This or that. It's our weekly delve.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-343-8638. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638. 800-343-8638.
If you want to make a difference in your life that impacts you for years to come, then it's time to stand with Israel by going there. Consider the thrilling excitement of joining nationally syndicated media host Dr. Sebastian Gorka and renowned author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza on the Stand with Israel tour November 30th through December 9th, 2022. Journey through the Holy Land with two of the most respected political commentators of today. Together with like-minded travelers, you'll see over 40 iconic sites during the 10-day tour. You can pray at the Western Wall in Old City, Jerusalem, float on the Dead Sea, and take a boat out into the middle of the Sea of Galilee. Visit StandWithIsraelTour.com to reserve your spot or call 855-565-5519. Visit StandWithIsraelTour.com or call 855-565-5519 to book today.
McQueen Building Company. It's about our people, but it's what others say about us that we really want you to hear.
It was a pleasure working with McQueen. Everything we agreed on in the contract was done and done to my satisfaction. I'll certainly have them for any future projects and have recommended them to friends.
Jeff works hard, is committed to success, and willing to go above and beyond in his zeal for the best outcome. I highly recommend Jeff, his work ethic, and his commitment to excellence.
McQueen Building Company. See our work for yourself at McQueenBuildingCompany.com.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
We are everywhere on your radio at 101.5 WORD FM Pittsburgh, at wordfm.com, the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Winter weather advisory in effect late this evening through tomorrow afternoon. For tonight, periods of rain early, then snow accumulating 2 to 4 inches, the low 22. Windy, very cold tomorrow with blowing and drifting snow, otherwise cloudy with snow tapering off, accumulating 1 to 3 inches. Storm total snowfall 3 to 6 inches, the high 24. Sunday, sunshine giving way to clouds, breezy, high 38. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
It's time now for This or That. It's our weekly dive into ridiculousness. I've got a list.
I
Kath
take it
has a list.
seriously.
You do?
Well, not really.
Wait, okay. All right, here's my list for you, Kath, for this edition of this. It's kind of the St. Patrick's Day, almost spring edition of This or That.
Look forward to it.
Catch a leprechaun. Be a leprechaun.
I think I'd like to catch one.
All right. Spring ahead. Fall back.
Always fall back. Even though I like,
Yeah. April showers. May flowers.
May flowers, because who's going to pick the rain?
Sandals. Flip-flops.
Flip-flops all the day long.
Floral print. Polka dots.
I love a polka dot. They're so cheery.
Yeah. Bike ride. Nature walk.
I think I'll go bike ride. But I haven't been on a bike in a couple of years.
This is the year.
Do you think it is the year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
You going to come over and help me out?
Maybe. I'll meet you on
Pump
the
up the
trail.
tires and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Will you do that for me?
Roadworthy. Sure, that's easy to do.
Okay.
Help you out. Bird watching. Stargazing.
I don't do either one. I'm a terrible. I know it makes me sound like a terrible person.
No, it doesn't. No, there's no judgment here.
Okay,
Just this or that.
okay, bird watching.
All right.
What, am I taking it too seriously all of a sudden?
We go down to the trail of despair. The heck? It's like we're playing a game. All of a sudden, we're on the couch. Hop like a bunny.
Yeah.
Waddle like a duck.
I'll choose the bunny. I don't feel like the duck is particularly complimentary.
All right. What's your psychiatrist say about that? Hair color as green as a spring leaf. Hair color as blue as a cloudless sky.
I think hair shouldn't be blue or green.
Green hair, blue hair.
All right, it's St. Patrick's Day. I guess I'll go green.
Very nice. Thinking about the past. Thinking about the future.
Oh, this is the problem, right? Well, I'll think about the past, and then you should think about the future.
The Grand Concourse. Lamont.
Oh, well, that's kind of hard.
It's this or that.
Grand Concourse.
All right. Oh,
but I love that. I love the view. It's hard.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Peter O'Toole.
Oh, I'm going Daniel Day.
Hey. Belfast. Dublin.
Well, that's kind of hard.
It's this or that.
I'm going to say Dublin.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That is my this or that.
All right.
St. Patrick's Spring Edition.
Well, John, it was 70 degrees last Saturday, and this Saturday we're expecting 4 to 6 inches of snow.
Nice.
So I give you the unexpected events edition
all right.
of this or that. Number one, 4 to 6 inches of snow in the middle of March.
Yep.
Or 4 to 6 days of rain during your beach vacation.
Oh, give me the snow anytime. Don't mess with the beach vacation.
Exactly. Number two, 10 avocados for $10 or 10 Mallow Cup 2-packs for $10.
Oh, that's good.
Both, by the way,
Yeah.
were available this week.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I'm going the guac.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, give me
I
that.
mean, that's a healthy choice. I'm proud of you.
Because then I got a chip.
They weren't included. Number three, you decide, John, to go on a cruise, or you decide, John, to go to Disney World.
Oh boy! At least at Disneyland, I can leave.
Not land,
Disney
World.
World, I can leave. If you're on a cruise, you're stuck. I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to walk around, and then I'm driving away.
That's so sporting of you. Number
you.
four,
Yep.
someone offers you a $50,000 settlement from your car accident last summer, or someone walks up to your front door and offers to buy your house.
Oh, I don't want to sell my house. Give me the cash.
All right. Number five, you decide to learn to knit, or you decide to learn to kickbox.
My limbs hurt. I'll do the knitting.
Will you?
Yeah.
I'd pay to see it. Number 6, the gift of a Costco membership or the gift of a pool membership?
Oh, I'm going to the pool.
That's because you have the Costco membership, though. It doesn't really count. Number 7, a bad dinner at a beautiful restaurant or a good dinner at a dive?
A good dinner at a dive.
Is that right?
I love a dive.
Even if it looks terrible,
Who
it
cares?
doesn't matter.
Who
You don't
cares?
care about it. Number 8.
Think my mouth is going to care?
The shake your hand and say hello greeting time reinstituted at church.
Oh, do not go there.
Or the mask mandate reinstituted at church.
I'll shake anybody's hand for an hour if I don't have to wear a mask again. Please.
Number 9.
Excellent.
You paint your kitchen cabinets, John, or you install a French drain?
Oh, French drain. Give me the French drain, please. Bids are welcome.
Number 10, and I have a bonus.
All right, good.
Number 10. Yeah. President Biden selling an infrastructure bill at a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh? Or John Fetterman at that same bridge collapse wearing shorts?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Well, it's an image for the ages. Fetterman in the shorts is iconic. Yeah.
Here's your bonus.
Crazy nut.
Paying $5 a gallon for gas, John? Or paying a 1% tax for being a patient at a hospital in the city of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't like either of them, but I'll pay the gas. I mean, holy smokes. That's this or that. It's kind of painful, kind of weird, kind of fun.
101.5 WORD.
You're listening now, so we know you're a fan of the radio station.
I am a big fan.
And we want you to know that we appreciate you.
I am your number one fan.
That's why we've developed the Word FM Fan Club. It's free to join, and once you do, you can take part in exclusive surveys and contests.
Yeah, I love contests.
Special offers.
Great giveaways.
Discounts. Freebies.
I'd like to win one of these contests.
Become a member today. Go to wordfm.com/fan club and sign up.
We're big fans.
In the Bible, Jesus says when we care for the least of these, it's like we're caring for him. But who are the least of these? They're moms, like Mirna from Guatemala, who fights every day just to keep her children fed.
Right now, they are hungry. They want food, and we don't have money enough to get to the whole week.
COVID-19 has left the world's poorest families on the brink of starvation. Throughout the Caribbean and Latin America, the basics of food and access to clean water are a daily struggle.
Living is really hard. I only get food when other people give me food.
When you partner with Food for the Poor, you answer the desperate prayers of moms and kids. Your gift of $175 will provide food for a year and water for life for 2 suffering children. Just pennies a day gives food and water, hope and life. Please, give life now. Call 855-828-4673, 855-828-4673, or click the red Give Life banner at wordfm.com.
Here's the deal. I've had constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
Oftentimes, throughout the day, we visit Twitter.
It's part of our job.
I like Twitter.
I like it too. It can also be terrible.
Well, it can be.
But I do like it.
But of all the social, it's not TikTok, thank goodness. It's not Instagram, which I like Instagram as well.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, it's not Facebook. It's...
Every platform's a little different.
Yeah.
And what Twitter's good at, I think, is it works in the world of ideas.
Exactly. Yes. And you can engage or not, right? You can do drive-bys. We do, like a lot of people, we like things. So on Twitter, there's like a little button you can press that, is it a heart? Mm-hmm. Yeah, little heart button. I like it.
Right. And so sometimes to me, that means it's something I actually like. Sometimes it means it's something I want to go back to. I want to investigate further. I want to remember to tell you about. Maybe we're going to talk about it on the show.
Right.
It's kind of like a catch-all for me.
Or sometimes I'm just like, you read something and you kind of go, that's crazy, but I need to I don't want to comment, but the liking is a commenting in a way.
Right.
Right? Okay, so we'll go back and forth and talk about what we liked in the last several days there.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
You want to go first?
Yeah, you ready?
Okay.
This is from Kennywood.
Kenny Woods?
No, not Kenny Woods, but Kennywood the park.
Oh, okay.
This
God
would
bless
be
Kennywood's
very
parents.
confusing if it was from Kenny.
Yeah.
The turtle begins to emerge from a winter's rest. You sent this to me.
Oh.
Our maintenance teams are now reassembling rides and prepping for spring testing. Do you love the turtle?
I love the turtle.
We've spent quality time on the turtle together.
We have, sliding into our family members,
exactly,
right?
And having them slide into us.
It's the most analog ride you're ever going to be on. It probably was invented or constructed in the 30s or the 40s. It's like big hunks of metal.
Maybe even 1920.
Really?
It could be. I believe it's the oldest ride in the park.
It looks it. But it's really
Isn't it great?
It's a lot of fun. It's just weird. And any, little kids get on it. Old people get on it.
It makes a weird sound.
Yeah. I just like it.
The metal things that get to be 1,000 degrees in July when you go to sit on them and you're injured for the whole rest of the day.
So they're doing maintenance work at Kennywood.
They're bringing the turtle out.
That's like the swallows returning to Capistrano.
Exactly. And I feel every year I'm grateful that it's back.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Very good. All right. I like that. Okay. This is from Amy Lawrence.
I love Amy Lawrence.
Me too. She's
CBS Sports.
Mm-hmm. Overnights.
Overnights. Yeah.
She says
2 to 6 a.m., I think.
God bless her. She says this, I never waste the chance to say I love you or give people hugs. Not anymore. Things have changed since COVID, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I still get emotional around people that I haven't seen in a long time, right?
I saw a couple at my church on Ash Wednesday at the service when we were going up front to get our ashes.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen them since before COVID. And you think about how long ago that was.
Years.
I mean, I hugged them like we'd just been rescued from a shipwreck.
Yeah, that's good. Why not, right?
This is from Emily Porter, MD. She tweeted, another day, another doubly insured patient who opted to forego picking up a generic medication because it was not covered by either insurance plan and was over $1,000 for 12 doses. That patient is me.
Oh, my gosh.
So she's a physician not getting her prescription filled because it's going to cost over $1,000 for 12 doses. We have health care in our country is so broken.
Yeah. How do you fix
I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. But I mean, it's outrageous.
A guy that I follow who's often funny, his name's Dan Duvall. He said, so sad that kids today spend so much time online. When we were kids, we were always outside throwing rocks at one another, smoking, lighting small fires, stealing car hood ornaments, shoplifting. One time I drank gasoline. It sounds similar to my childhood.
Right. Is this a friend of yours from St. A's?
Splitsville had some people.
It's still better than being online all the time.
Well, drinking gasoline.
Maybe these things. You know what I mean, though.
If you grew up in, before the online thing,
you were still bad. If you were a bad kid, you were still going to be bad.
I was talking to a friend of mine last night about that. He said, I was a good kid, but there were times when I was bad. And I get that. Every kid had, your group. I know these guys, these are my main group.
See, now you have to
Those
know.
Bad kids
you
over
have
there.
to know that I never felt that way.
What? That you were good and never...
I was always afraid to do anything bad. Always. Every day of my... And this is not a surprise to you. Every day of my life, I was always like... I had to do I just felt like I had to do everything to
everything
to fulfill, I don't know, make my parents happy.
I mean, I wanted to be good, but of course,
not that much though.
The devil got into me occasionally. I'll give you that. Right?
Okay, speaking of that, Eric Friesen tweeted this. I'm thinking of Genesis and reading People of the Lie, which, do you remember M. Scott Peck?
Oh, yeah.
Remember The Road Less Traveled,
Yeah,
which
sure.
is in was that the 90s?
Might have been 80s.
Okay. He was a
Gigantic
psychiatrist,
bestseller. Yeah.
huge bestseller.
Yeah.
He said, I'm reminded that the serpent slithered and whispered he didn't crash through the trees.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, I love that. Excellent.
Because we always think that we're waiting for like the big, like we were talking about yesterday. So many Christians think that the Ukrainian conflict with Russia is the quote unquote end of the world, right? Because we think that we're waiting for a huge cataclysm. We want evil. We expect evil to be like
roaring upon us.
Exactly. And instead, this is a
leaking
real
in slowly.
Exactly.
That's good. All right. Stephen Yulry, I follow, says this. My favorite part of being on hold forever is hearing every 45 seconds how very important my call is to you. Oh, don't you hate that?
Why did they do that?
Your call is important to us. We appreciate you. And you go, well, if it's an important, then pick up the phone. Someone speak to me, please.
Do you call anywhere that you can think of where someone answers the phone?
Not anymore.
I'll tell you one place I call.
What?
Salem Media Group.
Oh,
the
really?
company that we work for.
What, you call them Camarillo?
When you call them, someone answers the phone.
What?
Yep.
Not if I call if I'm calling the help desk.
That's not them. I'm not saying if you call the help
desk.
desk. But if you call the main number, someone will answer the phone.
Fabulous. Good.
That is the only, I'm serious when I say that is the only place I know. Nobody answers the phone at my church.
Right. Well, hey, we don't have a receptionist here anymore, right? Across the hall, there's a receptionist. I see her.
Well, are you calling over there?
No, I don't even know what that company is.
I don't either. Okay.
All right, okay.
Jeff B. says this. Apollo 13 is a curiously underrated film, possibly because Ron Howard is thought of as a quintessential, quote, reliable B-plus all-ages fair director, possibly because Tom Hanks has a similarly meat-and-potatoes reputation, and possibly because it's a historical drama. But it is whip-taut an excellent movie.
I agree. It's a great movie. Fabulous. When's the last time you saw it? It was one of those films you see, like, it's on cable a lot. You see it on cable and you go, oh.
Do you remember, what's the scene you remember from it?
The dumping of the box on the table.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I mean, whenever they dump it and they go, okay, this is what they've got up there.
We have to get from this point to this point.
Right. And here's the stuff that they have to fix the stuff that's broken. You go, what? They got a roll of tape, a stick. I mean, it's like, what the heck are these guys doing, man? It's fabulous. Let me see. This is some self-diagnosed on Twitter.
Okay.
It's wild that Mikhail Gorbachev is still alive, just quietly watching all of this.
Is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
You don't hear. He's probably sitting in his garden somewhere or in his apartment watching this unfold. What the heck is he thinking?
Oh, that's amazing. Chris Arnauty, he was a guest on our show. He's a book author. He wrote Dignity. Remember Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris wrote this. This is a great little story. He said, I was in a bar where a jam band of grad students was playing to an audience of maybe 10 people. They were good, if you like that sort of thing. An older regular, a tow truck guy, so said his jacket, came in and patiently listened for 45 minutes while downing beers. He did not like that sort of thing. So between songs, they were long songs, he yelled, hey, come on, play something we know, like Stones or Pink Floyd. They smiled politely to him, but he kept at it. Come on, I get one Saturday night a week, he said, play something I know. They ignored him, played another song. When they finished, like 15 minutes later, he shouted again, I'll pay you $100 to play Pink Floyd. So he went over to the tip jar, put $100 in.
What the heck?
And walked back. Okay. So all of a sudden, these like 20-somethings sit around their iPhones watching videos of Pink Floyd because they don't know anything, right?
How could you not know Pink Floyd?
10 minutes later, they performed what Chris says what I think was the best version of Comfortably Numb I've ever heard. The man stood grinning the whole time, applauded, and then walked out with a big smile.
That's a good $100. Fabulous. Okay. Here's the last one. Courtney Ellis says this. You should know that if we haven't met in real life, there's a high likelihood I am mispronouncing at least part of your name in my head.
That's your theme song.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a kindred spirit indeed. All right, that's what we like on Twitter this week. Twitter's weird. It's always enjoyable in one way or another, right? There's a lot of witty people there and some smart people,
You can
too.
follow both of us there. We'll be right back.
Why Doing It Right? Roofing, siding, remodeling? It's simple. It's in their name.
Doing It Right uses only top quality materials and employs only experienced installation and management people to install and oversee your project.
Family owned and operated for 38 years, and with over 45 years of industry experience, you can be confident that your project will be installed the correct way.
Doing It Right does business honestly, taking no money down and collecting balance upon completion.
You'll receive a lifetime labor warranty from Doing It Right.
Doing It Right does all work to manufacturers, National Roofing Contractors Association, and Vinyl Siding Institute guidelines and specifications for a complete and headache-free installation.
Doing It Right is an Owens Corning Platinum contractor and James Hardy preferred contractor.
Most importantly, they're affordable, offering great financing options and accepting all major credit cards.
Be sure to mention John and Kathy for a discount off your roofing, siding, and remodeling estimates.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF or find them at roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
Who doesn't love a good deal? What if you could confidently know that you're getting the best deal on a mattress on any given day, not just during one of those today-only sales? At the Original Mattress Factory, we have something better than a sale. A fair factory direct price on excellent quality products for everyone, every day. So you can take your time and buy when you're ready. When you're looking for the best mattress at a great value, come to the Original Mattress Factory first. OriginalMattress.com.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
When it matters, companies need more than just a delivery service. Cintas delivers full service and the reliability that comes with having a dedicated Cintas service rep who understands your business, which means they deliver confidence and peace of mind too. For uniforms, cleaning essentials, mats, first aid and safety supplies, and fire protection services, discover the personal attention you get with Cintas.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
I'm a wife, a sister,
and a grandfather.
I'm an office clerk.
I'm a research analyst, dance fitness instructor,
actor.
I'm a copywriter.
I'm a veteran.
I have lupus,
cerebral palsy.
I'm blind.
And I'm working in a job I love.
Because I was given a chance
to contribute my skills and talents.
To show that my disability
is only one part of who I am.
Who I am.
Who I am.
At work, it's what people can do that matters.
For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
If you have not seen the commercials yet, you most certainly will. This month, what is thought to be a launch, putting the campaign in the same financial arena as the big-name brands like Old Navy, Ameritrade, and Mercedes-Benz. Now, the video ads, some of which are already garnering millions of views on YouTube, feature striking black and white photos and a stirring piano track made under the direction of Michigan-based marketing agency Haven. Each ad focuses on an aspect of Jesus' earthly experience with which today's "the struggle is real" crowd might resonate. Jesus was judged too. Jesus had fun with his friends too. The ad directs viewers to go to hegetsus.com, where they can then choose 4 ways to engage: chat live, text for prayer and positive vibes, sign up to join a small group with Alpha, or click through a Bible reading plan on the YouVersion app. The campaign, as I said, is underway. $100 million. Story reported by Maria Baer from CT. What do you think?
I mean, what? Okay.
By saying, play the word Pittsburgh, and on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Texas Supreme Court paving the way for the nation's toughest abortion law to remain in place in a ruling that again deflated clinics' hopes of stopping or even pausing those restrictions anytime soon in the Lone Star State. Today's ruling is the latest defeat for Texas abortion providers, which have now lost at both the Texas Supreme Court as well as the U.S. Supreme Court. President Biden says the United States and allies will revoke most favored nation trade status for Russia. That will allow countries to impose higher tariffs on some Russian imports. And in Ukraine, Russian forces appear to be expanding their offensive and now starting to strike new areas in the western part of the country. 100,000 people have been evacuated in just the last 36 hours. This is SRN News.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, gutters, and downspouts, entry doors, and, of course, windows, you can count on Windows R Us, the area's premier exterior replacement company. This is John Steigerwald. With over 50 years' experience in the home remodeling industry, Windows R Us offers repair and replacement for all your exterior home projects. Why pay double with some other companies? Windows R Us will always give you the best price on the best in-class products, backed by the best warranties in the industry, all with zero sales pressure. And speaking of zero, right now, get zero interest financing for 12 months and no processing fee with prices set to increase on all exterior products. Lock in your quote today. Schedule a free estimate at WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com. Find them at the Pittsburgh Home Show now through Sunday. You've tried the rest, now try the best. WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com.
Windows R Us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
Towels just don't seem to dry you anymore. They feel soft and luxurious at the store, but then you get them home and they don't absorb. Well, Mike Lindell at MyPillow found out that about 2006, towels changed forever. They started importing them, and they added softeners and other things to the cotton that made them feel really good, but they didn't work. He found the best towel company right here in the USA. They have proprietary technology to create towels that feel soft but actually work. They're all made with USA cotton, and they come with a MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. A 6-piece set, 2 bath, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths made with USA cotton, regularly $109.99, now just $39.99. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the new radio listener specials, get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the towels. Enter promo code WORD or call 800-391-0954. But right now, MyPillow.com, promo code is WORD.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare. And that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel a timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare.
I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare contract or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-885-9797. That's 800-885-9797. 800-885-9797.
Winter weather advisory in effect late this evening through tomorrow afternoon. For tonight, periods of rain early, then snow accumulating 2 to 4 inches, the low 22. Windy, very cold tomorrow with blowing and drifting snow, otherwise cloudy with snow tapering off, accumulating 1 to 3 inches. Storm total snowfall 3 to 6 inches, the high 24. Sunday, sunshine giving way to clouds, breezy, high 38. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Seriously, I don't know what news media gets so whipped up about a couple of inches of snow. All of a sudden it's like...
It's not a couple inches. I think isn't it 4 to 6?
They're saying 1 to 6 inches.
1 to 6.
So, I mean, that's a wide variation.
I think that you're trying to polish the storm a little bit because of your car trip coming up tomorrow.
No, I just think that we see something on the horizon. What did our parents do, or our grandparents? Snow fell, we dealt with it. Now it sounds like flashing red lights of despair and, go out and protect yourself from the incoming doom that's upon you.
You know what I did this morning? I went to the grocery store, which was a huge mistake.
Buy bread and milk.
Toilet paper. No, I just had to. This is going to sound so lame, but I'm just going to be honest about who I am.
Okay.
I had to buy kale.
No, that's fine. You come from a kale family.
I do.
Right?
I do. It's part of, my husband has to do a shake every day, and so you have to get Anyway, it was crazy town out there.
Because of the storm?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. I'm serious.
No, maybe because it was Friday and it was payday and people were like, it's shopping
It was
day.
it was Friday and because of the storm.
Like people are going to be sequestered in their houses for a month.
I'm telling you, this is the way it is. This isn't a surprise. People are buying ketchup and pierogies.
See, look, because I'm pointing my finger at the media because they whip up people and and everyone buys into it like we're suckers.
Right, it's
We've
like
been down this road.
The bomb cyclone of media.
The bomb cyclone. What is the thing you talked about?
I forget. It was like a cyclonic. I forget what it was.
Right, but it sounds ominous and horrible, and you think,
It sounded
oh no.
extremely ominous and horrible.
I better go.
Enough for you to cancel your car trip.
I'm not canceling anything. Like people are going to be like on their roofs, like shoveling snows off their roof because they fear their roof's going to get
If you end up stranded, I will accept texts.
I'll be sitting,
Will you post them on your Twitter account since we just talked about
if I'm
Twitter?
stranded, yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I'm going to stop and get some gas and I'll have a bag of chips, and that'll be it. I'll continue on the road.
That'll make you
Nothing's
feel
going to
better.
happen. Of course, it'll make me feel better. I mean, all the trouble in the world, and this is what we're focused on. It just. Anyway, speaking of trouble in the world, this is a really when you could probably spend hour after hour after hour after hour, and especially people in Ukraine who are living this, cataloging the atrocities that are being visited upon those people. I mean. And of course, we're just reading the news feeds. We know people in country, and just in a few minutes, we're going to speak to a priest in Ukraine, which we look forward to, and he'll give us an update about how he's living his life. It's a small church outside of Kyiv. But anyway, I saw a story about a Russian Orthodox priest who was reportedly arrested this week after he preached a sermon denouncing the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It was an unusual example. I'm reading from the Associated Press of one of the Russian government cracking down on a cleric from a faith tradition that has long operated in lockstep with Vladimir Putin. Yeah. Now, according to a BBC report citing Russian activists, the Reverend Joanne Burden was charged with, quote, discrediting the use of the armed forces because of the sermon that he preached on Forgiveness Sunday, last Sunday. The sermon included, among many other things, descriptions of destruction inflicted upon the Ukrainian people by the Russian forces. Burden, whose church is in a village about 80 miles outside of Moscow, also reportedly shared anti-war images and a petition on the church's website. I mean, that's bold. It was not immediately clear which petition Burden posted, but his name appeared on a public letter signed by more than 285 Russian Orthodox priests and deacons over the past week, calling for the cessation of the fratricidal war against Ukraine and bemoaning the trial that our brothers and sisters in Ukraine were undeservedly subject to.
That is a brave man.
Indeed it is. So he's been arrested. Now, you know that the Russian government, whatever that is, Putin is the Russian government, and the Orthodox Church, as this report says, have been in lockstep, right? They are almost one and the same.
Mm-hmm. But there have always been pockets of priests who spoke out.
Of dissidents.
But they were always punished. Mm-hmm. So this guy, not only did he speak out, but he spoke out knowing what would happen to him.
Right. And I saw a photograph of the pastor, Joanne Burden. He is not a young man. So you can imagine what time spent in a Russian jail would do to someone.
Yeah, you'd be glad if it was a jail. Mm-hmm. It's probably not a jail.
Probably not.
Wow. Okay.
Prayers.
Yeah. Looking at CBSNews.com, an interview with Ukraine's Minister of Culture and Information Policy, Oleksandr Tkachenko, says that he thinks the country's troops are managing as they battle to keep Russia's invading forces from taking major cities, but he vowed that the people would never give up. They urgently, however, need more weapons, he said, more big weapons, including aircraft, missile defense systems, reiterated calls for the U.S. and its NATO allies to declare and enforce a no-fly zone over Ukraine to stop Russia's aerial bombardment. All I can say, I understand why we hold back and why the U.S. cannot get involved. But I just pray that Ukraine is crawling with U.S. and NATO intelligence operatives that are training and bringing every possible supply they can to the Ukrainian people.
Amen to that. I mean, what do you do? Because Putin is this unknowable force who has his own reasons and directions. Quite honestly, it feels as though the man's unhinged. Does it not? It does. It just feels like he's making things up in his isolation.
We read the same article in the New York Times yesterday talking about how he has become isolated. Basically, himself and one friend who's one of the heads of a large bank in Russia. Right. They've been inseparable for the last decade or so. And over COVID, they've become increasingly selective about who they talk to. Anyone who even gets an audience with Putin has to quarantine for 2 weeks prior. So it's just he and this guy for the most part.
The regular group of cronies that Putin had around him have now been excluded.
Pushed to the side.
Right. So heaven help us. No one really knows what's going on behind closed doors. Well, let us take a quick break. When we do come back, we will go to Ukraine itself and speak to a pastor, Pastor Genya, who is pastoring a small church outside of Kyiv. He'll give us an update of what his life is like and what he's experiencing in Ukraine today. Stay with us. This is The Ride Home, Pittsburgh's Christian Talk on 101.5 Word FM, WORD. Say, even though the snow is flying this evening, there are many people who are thinking about wedding season coming up very soon. Marsh is here from the Spring House. Marsh, we didn't know that you were involved in wedding work.
Yes, we cater a lot of weddings every year, and they usually start about when it's really beautiful out, but we actually have our first one tomorrow for this year, and we're really excited about it because it happens to be a young lady that has worked here 6.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And she picked all of her favorite Springhouse foods that she's gotten to eat over the years. She's having Celebration Romano, Pearl's potatoes, rigatoni with meat sauce, fresh green beans. We're doing some desserts for her, and she's going to have a harvest table. And I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. My sister Jill creates them, and they're just a big, elaborate whole bunch of fruits and veggies and baby breads and punch and cheeses and crackers, and so beautiful and so delicious for people to enjoy while they're waiting during picture taking or whatever. And anyway, Raven is a really special young lady that worked for us for almost 7 years since she was about 14 in high school. She graduated from college and stayed around for a year while she planned her wedding, and then she's leaving us to go to Tennessee. But tomorrow, we're going to enjoy celebrating her new life with her new husband and feeding everybody lots of good food.
Does that mean that if I got remarried, I could get Alabama vegetable casserole?
Galore, Cap.
That's what I want to hear.
Stop it right now. Okay, so if you're planning a wedding, stop on by the Spring House, springhousemarket.com, and let the wedding bells ring. Thanks, Marsh.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
101.5 WORD.
Everywhere you go, anywhere you go, Word FM goes with you. That's because we're no longer trapped inside a radio. We're now everywhere you are, and you carry us around in your pocket. We're ubiquitous.
There's an app for that, right?
On TuneIn, on iHeart, on our own app, on wordfm.com.
The iPhone. The iPhone.
The iPhone.
The iPhone. On your iPad, iPhone, and Android. We're always with you because we're inside your pocket. Whatever you do, don't lose us. 101.5 WORD.
Before Bamboo HR, I feel like crying just thinking about it.
We were still handling everything via paper, and we literally had paper stacked.
It was all in spreadsheets and folders.
From the moment I started using it, I felt calmer.
As soon as we started using the Bamboo onboarding checklist, it was extremely easy.
Headcount, turnover, years of service. There's just so many different reports that I use at different points in time.
I'm totally set free to focus on the people, to focus on development, to focus on team dynamics.
It's freeing me up to do more of the stuff stuff that actually matters in HR, which is interacting with people, learning from them, and then building stuff for them.
Everything is in this one place. I can't even imagine what it would be like without Bamboo HR.
We're Bamboo HR, and we'd love to set you free to do great work. Come try our award-winning all-in-one HR software for free with no strings attached. Visit bamboohr.com/HR for this free trial offer. That's bamboohr.com/HR.
For over 40 years, First Baptist Christian School of Butler has quietly offered parents one of the most affordable, high-quality Christian educations around. A complete education from pre-K through 12th grade with free busing, smaller classes, an extremely high teacher-student ratio, competitive athletics, and SAT scores well above the national average. Think an affordable Christian education is beyond your reach? Think again. First Baptist Christian School of Butler at butlerfbcs.com.
Incredibly frustrating to sit here and watch the news reports that come in, every minute on your computer or on TV or whatever, and seeing the horror that's visited on the Ukrainian people and feel like you can't do anything about it. And of course, recognizing the fact that our country is in some ways with their hands tied, not wanting to start an enormous worldwide conflagration. I understand that. But at the same time, you think, I can't believe we see reports of a maternity hospital being bombed. And we're just going to sit back and say, well, that's terrible.
Right.
I mean, it just seems like it's hard. I guess is this the first war that we've been able to see in this way? I mean, Vietnam was, of course, the first war, I guess. I don't remember that. And I remember, of course, the opening salvos of the Kuwait War. Mm-hmm. Was that called? That wasn't Desert Storm. That was Iraq, right?
Yeah.
I forget what.
It was Desert Storm.
Was it Desert Storm?
Yeah.
Was that the first one?
Right.
I remember seeing that on CNN, right? And
sure.
that sort of thing,
flying across the desert,
right,
with reporters embedded in the tanks.
Right. This one, though, seems different because of the horror aspect of it. Because it's an invasion of an independent country, and you're just watching just one salvo after salvo and one wretched tragedy after another.
Right. So the response, of course, is united, and I do believe that the response has been so united that has probably surprised Vladimir Putin, right? That the world is making sanctions difficult for forward movement, and especially for a guy who I believe, is a megalomaniac and now is being worldwide shamed. What does that do to a person when you push someone in a corner like that? Right?
Well, when you have a huge military at your disposal, you probably feel like you can't be pushed into a corner. You always have a route, which is the route he's taking.
Right. We are efforting right now. We have spoken to Pastor Genya, but he was to call us back to sort of complete this circle. You want to try to call him again and see?
Pastor Genya is the pastor of a church in a small village outside of Kyiv.
Right.
John, you talked to him earlier today?
I did, and we had a very clear line in transmission. Now, we should say this. It's 15 minutes after midnight, right. 20 minutes after midnight. And earlier when we talked, the pastor was
in a zone that anything unexpected could happen.
Right. I mean, he said, I may have to go into the bomb shelter because, things have become increasingly close to us. He said he's living with his mother and father close by, so he's taking care of elderly parents, and I'm sure he's got a parish as well, a group of people that are counting on him and his safety. So who knows what's going on? But our hope was that we could connect with Ukraine, but we are efforting that and unsure if that's about to happen or not.
Okay.
But through the wonder of technology, I mean, there it is.
There it is. You were able to speak to somebody in Kyiv. What, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago?
Yeah. And it was clear as a bell. Now we do have them. Okay, great. Let's try this right now. Hello, Pastor Genya.
Hello, Pastor Genya.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hello. Welcome.
Oh, hello. Welcome.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Yes.
There seems to be an echo on our line, Pastor. So I'll just ask you a few questions. I think the first I would ask you, Pastor, is what is your current situation outside of Kyiv? How are things with you and your church?
Well, saying about the exact place where I'm located, it's kind of, well, it's more or less safe because there are no like direct bombings or direct combats in our area. But like, let's say like 20 miles away from us, we can hear bombings, we can hear those explosions time from time. We can see jet planes which are flying over us and stuff like that. So
right.
But in this area, I mean, like in this exact place, it's more or less safe.
Yes. So
about like military action.
And Pastor, can you describe, what it is, where you are, the size of your town, the size of the group of people that you're pastoring at your church? What does that look like? Just so this sort of set an image for our listeners right now.
So where our church is located, it's a small village, like let's say like about 2,000 people living in here, and like 3,000 or 4,000 more people living in the next village, and a few more villages like that. And we have people from like few close villages coming here to the church. So the church is, let's say, about 50 people for now, right now. And some of them located in this village, some of them located in the villages around the place. So
I see.
Just nothing special. Just a church in the village with just normal people.
Yes. So a church in a village, I mean, it is special because there you are together praising Jesus, and we love you for that. But to talk about, 20 miles, as an American, it's not that far away. So what is your health like? Psychological, spiritual, you see and feel the advancement of the enemy coming upon you. How are things, and how are you trying to minister to those people? You have to be fearful to some degree, aren't you?
Well, let's say it's dangerous in nighttime, because all the attacks happening like during nighttime or early morning time. So this is really like, anxious, in the nighttime, because you never know what to expect. You never know when those like rockets or bombs may hit in what place, and people, nighttime is really like difficult time. But, in daytime, we have a chance to go outside, like buy some food, talk to people, tell them about prayer, that, we're telling to everyone that we're praying for them. The church is praying really hard day and night. Many churches in the world are praying, and we believe in the victory.
Yes.
It's not only victory Ukraine over Russia or something like that. It's I'm pretty sure it's a battle of God's good things against the evil things of the devil, because it's more than just,
Yes.
Pastor Genya, have you thought of leaving?
Well, I think, the place for the pastor is to be with his flock, and at least while there's no just direct threat, like you're going to be killed, you're going to be like murdered, you're going to be tortured or something like that, I don't know what would I do in that case. But, I think it's the safest place in the world to be where the Lord wants you to be. So.
And so, what about your immediate family? Are you with family? Talk to us about that.
Your mom or your dad?
How you're caring for people?
Well, part of my family is staying in the closest city, which is even closer to Kyiv. But they are more or less safe there too. They have their basement, and they have their food and house and everything. So, while people have, at least when people have a basement where they can go to in case of bombing, it's okay. It's safe enough. and I'm staying here at the church building actually because I live in the city where my parents are.
Yes.
But I stay in the building. I brought my bed here, so I spend all my time here. And people come here for prayer. With other pastors of my church, we go to closest cities to buy some food, and we bring it to people in the village, and just lots of things happening.
Yes.
What about basic services like food you mentioned, and water, and electricity, gasoline? What are those available to you?
Well, I would say we are really lucky enough, thank the Lord, that we have electricity, we have gas, like for heating, for making food, and we even have internet. Right now we're talking on internet, so thank God for that. But people really do have like basic needs, like you may not find as much food as people would need in the villages like this, and even in the cities. It's very limited right now because of the lack of logistics.
Right.
Because of all those bombings and dangers of the roads, and plus we use all possible trucks for the army, So it's still... We have water, so people in the villages, they have their own wells, they have their own pumps. I hear bombs,
You hear bombs
so,
now? Hear bombs now.
No, it's not right over this church building, but you can just hear them. You can just feel it on the ground and so on. But we're getting used to that. Thankfully, it's not as close, but yeah.
Must be a difficult thing to get used to, Pastor. We're talking with Pastor Yenya, who is joining us live right now outside of Ukraine, or outside of Kyiv. So, Pastor, here in the United States, of course, we're reading the newspapers and looking at cable news and whatnot, and there you are. There you are on the ground, and you're telling us, you hear the sound of the bombs not that far away. What is it that, that we need to know? I mean, there you are. You know Jesus. You're a man of God. But is there something that we're missing here that, somehow the story is incomplete for us? Can you tell us something that's important for you to tell us?
Well, what I would say? That what I realized during this wartime, that God is really, really real, He's really, really powerful, and He answers prayers really, really powerfully and miraculously. And I've realized that every one of us, especially Christians, we have a very important task from the Lord. This is to pray, this is to have the spiritual fight. And what I've noticed, what I've seen, that this is really, really, really true, because as we pray, we can see miracles happening in the army, miracles happening on the front line. Like, people there, just surrender by hundreds. People just cancel those enemy's troops. They just cancel to fight. They decide to give up. They just leave their equipment. They just leave and run. Not all of them, but men and men and men. I heard that we have so many captives that we don't have a place where to place them to. So they even think about making those jail spaces available to people who live there and stay there. We need to feed them, and so many things like that. The Lord just protecting us, giving wisdom to the army, and just supernatural things happening. So I just want to say that prayer, this is something that really works. And I realized that this is as much powerful as weapons, as real weapons, cannons, and tanks, planes, and everything. We all see that in this just a new page of history happening, and this is miraculous.
Pastor Yenya, I just want to assure you that we pray for you and your people throughout the day. When I wake during the night, I pray for you. There are Christians all over the nation and all over our city of Pittsburgh who remember you. And we want to assure you that you're not alone, that even if we're separated by half of a globe, that we're united in our belief in Jesus, and that we stand as your brothers and sisters.
Thank you so much. We are more than blessed to know that. And I can tell you that we realize and we feel it, that prayers all around the world are going to the Lord's ear, and it's really working. The Lord is acting. I can tell you. So thank you so much for praying for us. I think we still survive. We still can fight, and we still can win the battles because you pray for us. Because many of other thousands or even millions of believers pray for Ukraine. Thank you so much.
Pastor, thank you. We know it's after midnight, and as you said, the bombs are dropping. You can hear those. So as Cass said, all of us from Pittsburgh and across Western Pennsylvania, around the world, we lift you up in prayer. Just peace be with you, and long live Ukraine forever and ever. Be safe, my friend.
Man, thank you. Thank you for your care and love and prayers and everything. We just more than thankful.
God bless you, sir. God bless you, Pastor Yenya. We have a photograph of Pastor. We should
I'll
put
put
that
it up on social media right now.
so you can see firsthand, put a face to the people that we're speaking to, that you can pray for, to lift up the Ukrainians as they fight this battle. I remember trying to choose a college when I was of that age and thinking, how does this work? There's no one to help me. My parents didn't have a clue. They didn't attend college. My guidance counselor, he kind of shrugged his shoulders. There was a lot of anxiety. Everything worked out fine in the end. But when you look at where kids are today, especially, all the pressure the kids have, social media, all the online stuff, you get things in the mail nonstop. There's a lot of pressure to choose the right college, to do the right thing, to propel you to that full future that awaits you. It seems like a lot, doesn't it?
I remember the first week or two of 7th grade for one of my daughters. Seventh grade. They had an assembly where they were handed this chart, and they had to decide what they wanted to do career-wise so that in 7th grade they could start picking the right classes so that they could graduate with the right skill set, so they could get accepted into the right college, and then they could get the job that they want.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, that's so much pressure for a 7th grader.
So where's God in all this?
Exactly. And is there a way to raise children and encourage students to think that they don't just belong to themselves, but they belong to God?
Find out at Grove City College. What does God have for you? GCC.edu.
Why Doing It Right Roofing, Siding, Remodeling? It's simple. It's in their name.
Doing It Right uses only top quality materials and employs only experienced installation and management people to install and oversee your project.
Family owned and operated for 38 years, and with over 45 years of industry experience, you can be confident that your project will be installed the correct way.
Doing It Right does business honestly, taking no money down and collecting balance upon completion.
You will receive a lifetime labor warranty from Doing It Right.
Doing It Right does all work to manufacturers, National Roofing Contractors Association, and Vinyl Siding Institute guidelines and specifications for a complete and headache-free installation.
Doing It Right is an Owens Corning Platinum contractor and James Hardy preferred contractor.
Most importantly, they're affordable, offering great financing options and accepting all major credit cards.
Be sure to mention John and Kathy for a discount off your roofing, siding, and remodeling estimates.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF or find them at roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home, too, at 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
Pain or no pain, your wisdom teeth should be checked every year. Some wisdom teeth can become impacted, which can lead to cysts, tooth decay, and gum disease. Wisdom teeth can cause crowding, painfully damaging adjacent teeth. Not all wisdom teeth need to be removed, but they all do need to be monitored by an oral and maxillofacial surgeon. Find a surgeon near you for a complete examination at myoms.org.
Winter weather advisory in effect late this evening through tomorrow afternoon. For tonight, periods of rain early, then snow accumulating 2 to 4 inches, the low 22. Windy, very cold tomorrow with blowing and drifting snow, otherwise cloudy with snow tapering off, accumulating 1 to 3 inches. Storm total snowfall 3 to 6 inches, the high 24. Sunday, sunshine giving way to clouds, breezy, high 38. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
Whether you realize it or not, tomorrow night is the spring ahead evening of your annual calendar.
It's one of the best nights of the year.
And according to Wirecutter magazine, the jump to daylight savings time creates a gap, John, between your body clock, which responds to the sun, and your social clock, which is set by humans. This mismatch between your biological clock and your environment leads to a number of, quote, non-optimal situations in our health, which is why car accidents increase, heart attacks, that sort of thing, because we're basically all screwed up.
Yep.
So Wirecutter magazine has a couple options that are going to help us to get into daylight savings time a little more smoothly. The first one, I'm coming at you a little late because you're supposed to adjust your clock early. Make your time jump a little earlier. Change your wake-up time earlier by 15-minute increments in the days leading up to it. Okay, so we forgot about that. Okay. How about some relaxation aids to turn in earlier? Did you consider white noise?
I don't need any of that.
Oh, I use white noise every night.
Do you? White
I
noise?
love it so much.
You have a white noise app?
I have a white noise machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really terrific. So white noise app. They also recommend sleep headphones.
Come on.
What?
Sleep.
If you need to go to bed an hour earlier, I think it's a fine thing.
Here's my white noise.
Okay, listen. Because daylight savings time shifts an hour of sunlight later in the day, you can control the amount of light in your room as you settle in for bed. So think about closing everything down to kind of help your body kind of get into a sleep mode earlier.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Fine.
Okay. The human body is cued to rise with the sun, only now the sun will be coming out an hour later. So according to Wirecutter, to combat the groggy darkness of mornings, the best thing to do is to get light into your room as soon as possible. So there is something that is available called the Sunrise Alarm Clock, which shines a dawn-like light
that's what you need.
directly onto your sleeping head.
That lasts about 1 second.
What do you think about
pick
that?
it up and throw that.
What do you think?
The heck? Did you ever mess up?
In the days before iPhone?
Okay, here's what I did. First time ever, I was in a show at the Public Theater. I was still in college. And there's a 2:00 matinee. I arrived at the theater thinking I was arriving an hour early. I arrived as the curtain was rising. The good news was I was in the second scene of the first act. The director's standing in the lobby over the public. He looks at me like, hey, I run downstairs, hop into a costume, and I made it. Good gravy. I never made that mistake again.
That is terrifying.
Oh, it was terrifying. You should have seen my eyeball.
Terrifying.
Horrible.
I in a portion of my other life, I lead a band at a church, and I cannot tell you how many of these days, Sunday morning,
these guys.
I'd be waiting for a bass player, I'd be waiting for a drummer, I'd be waiting for where.
It happens.
Just doesn't happen anymore, though. It's the beauty of the iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. Your iPhone resets perfectly, and there you go. All right, spring ahead. It's another great sign, right? The crocuses are up. Have you seen all the crocuses?
I haven't seen any crocus.
Oh, yeah. They've been up for a while. Yeah, and forsythia. I saw forsythia today in its beautiful yellow bloom.
Well, all right.
Spring is. I'd say spring is here. When you see that.
101.5 WORD. The station with Pittsburgh's favorite Christian music every weekend.
With the best new music. New music. I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. New from Love and the Outcome. I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Doe and So Good. And Guardian from Pittsburgh's own Carla Bianco. The best new music and Pittsburgh's favorites.
101.5 WORD. On the weekend.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dinovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dinovite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dinovite dog, and he has zero issues today. He won't eat his food without Dinovite. When I get out the Dinovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dinovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your
dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net. Year after year, it's the same routine. Drop off the taxes, pick up the taxes, leave a check. Maybe it's time to work with a business CPA who is less transactional and more relational. From Mike Radich and the team at MGR CPA and Consultants, it's about more than crunching the numbers. It's about getting the advice you need for complex tax issues and business solutions. It's just a better return. MGR CPA and Consultants. Honesty, integrity, always. At mgrcpa.com.
It's been another week. That means it's time for John and Kathy's Week in Review. What was everyone talking about this week?
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right? Long may she live. Ukraine. Say your prayers. I mean, after talking to the pastor.
Yeah, in our previous
Makes it
segment,
human.
we talked to Pastor Zhenya, just, 20 miles or so outside of Kyiv.
You hear his
And
voice.
He said, pray.
Yeah.
What was a conversation that made you think?
Well, in the same vein, earlier this week, we spoke with Alex and Jennifer.
I said the same thing on Tuesday's show.
Yeah.
Alex and Jennifer were with us in the 4 o'clock hour, a married couple who met in Ukraine. Alex, born and raised there. Jennifer was on a student visa. And they met married, and he was sitting here talking about what it's like to have your, hometown invaded, and his
mom's there, his sister's
there, his friends are fighting.
You could see, the heartbreak and the anger in his eyes.
And then in the 5 o'clock hour, our friend Father Jason Sharon of the Ukrainian Catholic Church in Carnegie talked about his adventure 2 weeks ago today, flying from here to Finland to Poland and walking across the border into Ukraine to retrieve a 9-year-old orphan that one of his congregants had promised to adopt. And when she got out of the van, there were 21 other orphans in there. And so he spent the next week between 6 or 7 countries, getting them established, hooking up with a bunch of other refugees who needed him driving a bus around crazy mountain roads and
trusting in God and finding their way to safety
in the middle of a war.
Unbelievable.
What did you eat?
Oh, you know what we did this week? Went to Mad Mex.
What?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Oh, it was fabulous.
Which one?
In Monroeville.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it was like old times. It felt like the place was packed. I had a burrito. My wife,
beef burrito?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to inquire too much or get too personal, but I want to know.
Excellent.
Did you have chips and salsa as well?
Of course we did.
Any wings?
My son did the large wings.
Okay, so the wings are delicious.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. We chowed. And it's just good. It's good to be out. I love Mad Mex, right? Just
Me
felt
too.
fabulous. And so, yeah, good eating, good company.
Okay, now that you've said that, what I'm going to say sounds ridiculous.
You had kale.
Absolutely ridiculous. Okay.
Barbecued kale.
I found this thing. You can buy it in a bag at a local grocery store like Giant Eagle. They're called cauliflower pearls.
Oh, you're eating like in a hot plate.
I am. I mean, look at what's going on in my life.
Aren't you going to go out to dinner?
Yeah, but listen, you know
Just
how much
once in
money
a
we're
while?
spending on this? We don't want to spend money going out to eat. Anyway, check out these cauliflower pearls. So it's like you put a head of cauliflower. Listen.
Check out the cauliflower pearls.
In a food processor kind of thing. And it ends up with just little bits. So you kind of cook them in a skillet like rice. I'm telling you, they're really delicious.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm getting some of those on the way home. Honey, I got the cauliflower pearl.
I should have talked first and we did the burrito after.
Sorry, man. Okay.
What did you watch?
Nothing. I'm not watching anything. I'm giving up television for Lent. It's good.
What's it been like for you?
I love it. Seriously. I mean, I know that, denying yourself is supposed to feel like a
sacrifice.
It doesn't feel like a sacrifice. I should have done more. It's been great. I mean, we're sitting around at night, and instead of just, mindlessly turning on the set and watching Netflix or Hulu or whatnot, we're talking, we're reading, we're listening to music. I love it. I picked this up because Pastor Jay Slocum talked about it a couple weeks ago, and he said it changed his life. I'm not saying this is going to change my life for forever, but here right now, this is very, very good. It was a bad lazy habit that I had.
Wow.
And so hopefully that habit over Lent is broken, and I'll come back in a different vein.
Wow, good for you. I didn't do that. I'm watching Around the World in 80 Days.
What's that?
Recommended by a friend.
Is it a series?
It is a mini-series, I believe 7 episodes, starring David Tennant, produced by the BBC, Masterpiece Theatre. And it is just beautifully done. Streaming right now on Amazon Prime. You can watch it. It is Amazon Prime, right? Or does it have to be BritBox? Prime, okay. It's basically the story of 3 people. It's Phileas Fogg, who's going to go around the world in 80 days.
Famous story.
Yeah, right, at the end of the 19th century. It's Miss Fix, and it's Passepartout, the 3 of them, and all of the adventures and misadventures they go through.
In a hot air balloon.
That's a portion of it.
A train.
And a ship.
Other things.
All sorts of other things.
Or maybe one day.
What are you reading?
Oh, what am I reading? So I am reading more. I read last week the Greenlight book, which I loved. This week I'm reading...
What Greenlight book?
Matthew McConaughey's.
Oh, yeah.
Which was excellent. Very fun. I'm rereading a book by Thomas Merton called Seeds of Contemplation. It's a guide to the
contemplative life.
Thank you. Sometimes I get a little twisted up there. I wonder if that's an age thing.
I'm just here to help.
Like things that kind of get stuck in there. I've noticed that recently. Anyway, I have become somewhat a little more contemplative.
You've always been contemplative.
In a way, for better or worse.
But no, it's a good quality. I think it's a good quality.
So Thomas Merton, Seeds of Contemplation.
Okay.
I love it.
I've been reading the book of Luke repeatedly. Luke.
Just kidding.
Luke, I mean the Gospel of Luke. And I'm trying to read it differently than I have read it before. I'm trying to read it, as opposed to read a little paragraph and study it or read it. I'm trying to read it like it's a book, like it's a story, like trying to get away from the subtitles or the headings, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And just read it like it's a book.
Right, like it was originally produced,
exactly.
right?
That's what I'm trying to do. It's giving me a different feel for the story, and knowing that I'm reading what a doctor would write. How a physician looked at this situation and these people and this man.
That's good.
I don't know. It's been really interesting to me.
So the Bible you're reading from, does it not have the chapters and verse?
No, it is.
You can do that.
Yeah, I know you can buy those, but I don't have that. I would like to get that at some time. The Reader's Edition is what they're called.
Right.
But this is just my Bible. I'm just trying to kind of
ignore that.
Right, zero those out as much as I can and just read it.
I like it.
What hacked you off?
Okay, now I know, of course, the war in Ukraine, it's heinous. But I've seen this. I'm on the Parkway daily, probably like a lot of you, right? I have seen 2 incidences of road rage this week that scare the heck out of you. And, I'm not going to follow into the road rage, but also make you angry because people are driving like they're in a video game or something. And then, one coconut meets another coconut, and all of a sudden it becomes some competition. I've seen 2 things that were really, really dangerous. You almost kind of like drive into it, or you're like, I'm party to this thing, so you have to back off. The roads have changed since the pandemic. Maybe, the high cost of gas will sort of slow things down, but it's very upsetting. I don't know if it's angry, but it's very upsetting.
Well, I echo what you say, that of course we could talk about Ukraine forever and how hacked off We are. We'll continue to do that on the ride home. But I also want to bring up the absolutely preposterous idea of City Council this week that we're going to take 1%. We're going to tax every patient who's in a hospital bed or a chemo chair or whatever in the city of Pittsburgh to pay for our infrastructure that's failing. Not to mention we're going to tax our college students at, wherever, whatever university. I mean, it's an absolutely bankrupt, horrible, appallingly bad idea that just ends up taking the people who are making the most in healthcare, which we see all around us, especially here in Pittsburgh. Our largest employer pays no tax. Right. And we're going to tax by 1% the sufferers, the patients who show up at that hospital. It's terrible.
What was the best news you heard this week?
I would say the best news, at least here, how you sort of said, is it essentially spring is here. Despite this snow this weekend, seriously, look at the snow. We're going to get hit one more time, hopefully. But next week, we're in the 50s. Crocuses are blooming. That's really good. Spring ahead is happening on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that make you feel good?
I like your positive attitude.
Makes me feel good. So spring, I would say, maybe not yet here in the calendar, but very, very close.
The best news I heard this week is I thought it could never happen. The amount of division we have in America, especially between Republican and Democrat, it seems like just about everybody agrees that Ukraine is an innocent victim against the horrible machinations and advancement of Vladimir Putin. Mm-hmm. And I thought there was never anything we could find that we could all agree on. And I think we've landed on it.
Yay!
Long live Ukraine.
Very much.
And that's John and Kathy's Week in Review.
In the Bible, Jesus says when we care for the least of these, it's like we're caring for him. But who are the least of these? They're moms, like Mirna from Guatemala, who fights every day just to keep her children fed.
Right now, they are hungry. They want food, and we don't have money enough to get to the whole week.
COVID-19 has left the world's poorest families on the brink of starvation. Throughout the Caribbean and Latin America, the basics of food and access to clean water are a daily struggle.
Living is really hard. I only get food when other people give me food.
When you partner with Food for the Poor, you answer the desperate prayers of moms and kids. Your gift of $175 will provide food for a year and water for life for 2 suffering children. Just pennies a day gives food and water, hope and life. Please, give life now. Call 855-828-4673, 855-828-4673, or click the red Give Life banner at wordfm.com.
Towels just don't seem to dry you anymore. They feel soft and luxurious at the store, but then you get them home and they don't absorb. Well, Mike Lindell at MyPillow found out that about 2006, towels changed forever. They started importing them, and they added softeners and other things to the cotton that made them feel really good, but they didn't work. He found the best towel company right here in the USA. They have proprietary technology to create towels that feel soft but actually work. They're all made with USA cotton, and they come with a MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. A 6-piece set, 2 bath, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths made with USA cotton, regularly $109.99, now just $39.99. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the new radio listener specials, get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the towels. Enter promo code WORD or call 800-391-0954. But right now, MyPillow.com, promo code is WORD.
For over 40 years, First Baptist Christian School of Butler has quietly offered parents one of the most affordable, high-quality Christian educations around. A complete education from pre-K through 12th grade with free busing, smaller classes, an extremely high teacher-student ratio, competitive athletics, and SAT scores well above the national average. Think an affordable Christian education is beyond your reach? Think again. First Baptist Christian School of Butler at butlerfbcs.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
ask Alexa to play the word Pittsburgh to hear us there. We're on your Google speaker too, plus iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
All right, despite the snow, it is an Irish-themed weekend, right?
So people are going to go to the parade tomorrow, which is going to be held downtown, and they're going to be in the middle of a snowstorm.
Pretty much so. I mean, it happens. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Have you ever gone?
For years, our Cub Scout troop marched in it, which is a blast. I mean, you're up.
It's a lot more fun to march in a parade than watch one. Let's be honest.
Kind of, yeah, because then, you get to see all the people, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, my dogs were in the parade. We loved it. Even before, though, that when the kids were super little, we would, go, let's go to a parade. You got to take your kid to a parade, right?
Yes, I took my oldest child to the St. Patrick's Day parade, and we, A, froze, and B, couldn't find any place to go to the bathroom.
Oh, there is that.
So
right.
That's pretty much what it was.
Right. Anyway, it's fun. There is, an element of revelry there that's alcohol fueled.
You think?
It's different than other parades, I guess, know. But I don't know. So it gets underway tomorrow. It's probably in the midst of a snowstorm at 10 a.m. Also, because of it's all Irish themed, Irish music, something called Devilish Mary will be performing from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in Point Breeze at the Point Breezeway. Days of Irish Culture at the Carnegie Science Center on the North Shore. And Wrinkle in Time. The Prime Stage Theater celebrates the 60th anniversary of A Wrinkle in Time, adapted, of course, from the novel, Madeleine L'Engle. Friday, Saturday, 2:30, Sunday at the New Hazlitt Theater. The former public
I heard
theater.
about this performance. I got very excited about it.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's my favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that after they made the movie of A Wrinkle in Time, which was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the story was so mangled in the movie that I've lost faith.
No, listen to this. So the Prime Stage is going to be at the Hazlitt. There will be a post-show conversation with Charlotte Jones Voikalis, the granddaughter of Madeleine L'Engle.
Wow.
That alone would want me, hey, let's go and, see the play.
That's amazing.
Super cool, yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah. Ticket, theater's expensive now. It's not a cheap.
How much is it?
One ticket's $33.
Yeah.
And that's a low-end theater.
Of course
you go to the Public or wherever.
Yeah, well, like Christy's seeing Hamilton tonight.
Oh, my gosh.
It's, $260 or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's going to see Hamilton, right? That's true. The Pittsburgh Penguins have teamed with the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association to host the Rivalry Rematch. It's a women's hockey game featuring players from the U.S. and Canada, 4 o'clock at PPG Paints Arena Uptown.
Okay.
That'd be fun, too.
Sure. Pens are playing tonight.
Oh, in town?
I don't remember.
See, now, I'm not having TV. I'm missing the Pens.
Right. So that's the one thing that you feel like, right? You wish wasn't the case.
And baseball's coming back, of course, so...
It's not like you're going to miss anything there.
Well, I still want to watch some baseball.
It'd be better to go, right?
Yeah, it would be. You got plans?
Yeah, actually, I do have plans. We're going to celebrate my friend Sophia because she's getting married, and her bridal shower is tomorrow.
Oh, a bridal shower.
So we're going to go to the bridal shower at 11:30. I love a shower.
Do you?
I love a shower. Golden Knights are at the Pens tonight, of course.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, Golden Knights are at the Pens, 7 o'clock tonight. Christy is now texting me.
Ticket prices.
Yeah, ticket
LOL.
prices. Yeah, she's... okay, so they were less than I thought. But they're still a lot. They're like $180.
Holy moly.
I said, what'd I say, $260?
See, no, that's a problem because then all of a sudden theater becomes for like people of means. Not that Chrissy's a person of means. Oh, we know she's a broke girl.
Yeah, she always tells
but
us she's a broke
still,
girl.
I mean, theater should be accessible to people.
Well, this isn't a new thing. Broadway shows are, it's not like you can walk in for $18.
I know, but
the last Broadway show I saw
we go to TKTS.
was probably 5 years ago, but I think I paid $80. I might have paid $90.
Yeah, the arts are expensive.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
Anyway, have a great weekend. Get the snow shovel out, just in case.
And maintain your blissfully positive attitude like John has.
And, pray. Pray for Ukraine.
Yes.
Please. Pray for Ukraine. Have a good weekend.
The Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.
The
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. President Biden was right to finally ban Russian oil imports to the United States, but it's not